Hi.
Okay, let me share here. Okay, as I wrote on the side here, he says we spoke about the impact of the future and the past and the present. Now we're getting the impact of the mitzvos of Eretz Yisrael. Okay, he says Anu Marimim. Nowadays we play a ruse. Our Shemitah, which of course Rav Kook was very instrumental in bringing about this legal loophole. We sell the land of Eretz Yisrael to a guy. Um, Mekayim Nesias Amaisus Lekohen Levi Aide Tikun Shem Lo Hefsegol Nosen. We do the same with similar loophole. We give the Maisus to the Kohen Levi by a takana, which does not have a great loss to the giver. Obviously, we don't give the Meiser all. We give the Kohen. We don't give the Kohen anything. We just take off a minimal amount for truma, basically a very symbolic amount, and Meiser Sheni we redeem. There's no great loss to the giver, below Reva Godel Begabel, nor any great benefit for the recipient. Mevarchim Mafrishim, we to do a bracha, we set aside the Shulam Meiser, put him as a Meiser Sheni, we redeem the Meiser Sheni, Aray Leachel B'Kedusha B'Ira Merkazis HaKedosha B'Chaya, which have been suitable to eat in the central city, the holy city, which is our vital city. Hamakom Asher Bachra Hashem, place Hashem chose, Leva Omad, the heart of the nation, Chol Zeh for all the factions of its life. I'm not sure what Zume means, the factions or the streams of life. In any event, the focal city, we don't do things in the way they were supposed to be done. We also make up the way we're supposed to bring karbanos by our verbal tefillos. Shevach siach, spilling out our conversation instead of live animal sacrifice. Mishtar chai v'kayom in under a governance. I think a mishtar is like a government, which is alive and well. I think he doesn't mean here the government. Actually, I think he means the governing rituals of the Beis Hamikdash. Amalei Hodviv, which is full of glory and also splendor. Shira v'zimra, song and music, oz v'chedva, power and joy. Avlega garima zirim, but this even the small nuggets which we still have, the small seeds which we still have, there is a great power of strength of growth, which is hidden within them. Al Kom Hashem or Gim, to everything which they yearn for, in other words, which these mitzvahs represent. Kom Hashem tzomchim ba'avar, and take into account the past, everything which they did grow in the past, even though the present they don't grow them. As Kom Hashem asim latzirech whatever they're going to cause to grow in the future. To foresee all of this is in them in a manner which is a mold, a form. And says Rav Kook, a very fundamental mystical concept, that even though we don't do the mitzvahs the way they're supposed to be done, in a hidden way, they impact upon us, on the soul which fulfills them. It's as if in a microcosm of fulfilling the actual mitzvahs with all of their grandeur. They are activated to bring about a flame on a constant basis. There's Kodesh, holy fire, lavas oretz, the love of the land. Pela hamanoyo shel kedusha, in these stocks of kedusha. Yisrael, yeah, is a modern Hebrew word for stocks. I'm surprised you use it here. I'm not sure if it has a classical Hebrew meaning, but I think he's using its modern sense, which is stocks of kedusha. Yisrael, even though they're not, they're the stock represents ownership. These represent ownership of kedusha. Yisrael Elokia Dati, with the advantage of the divine, religious, Lumin, national, sorry, ethical aspect. Hakol b'chol mitzvah halalu, which is included in all these deeds. In other words, even though, and this is an interesting idea, which is that even though these mitzvahs are pale reflection of what they should be. They still have it as a very mystical idea. They still have the influence on people as if we were doing all the macrocosmic ideas which were embedded in them, which are in them in seed form. They educate the nation, may she so in the days of its lowness, we look at low to the spirit of its greatness. This is something which Am Yisrael has perceived in its wisdom, and I assume it means that Rabbana went to do all these mitzvahs, including parts, in a rabbinic fashion. They instituted in this all these mitzvahs the seed of the great mitzvahs of the past and the future. Right, the sons who built it, which are the rabbis. Never desisted from fulfilling the memories of the time when these things were actual active life forms. To the extent that it's possible, that it was possible in the lands in which it wandered. In other words, they even were mitzvahs which resembled mitzvahs of Louis Bar. It's not just challah and chutz laretz. So Yosef carries Mitzvah is an even more obvious or recognizable and expansive way. Whenever Am Yisrael managed in some way, shape, or form to come back to Eretz Yisrael, to its portion. Hahod v'hadar, the splendor and the majesty, v'pe'er and the glory, hamyuchad, which are special, sheyesh b'mitzvahs, which are in the mitzvahs, which are contingent in the land. They're fulfilled now by Eretz Yisrael, in Eretz Yisrael by us. I also by that pioneering army, which is building the land of the forefathers, the early Zionists. Prepares an end and a hope, Yosef Chazaka, which is stronger, more clear. The Dori Avo for a future generation. It's revealed to us in its power, the power of its inner desire, and the fire, which is pounding within its soul. Again, with Kook's idea that Zionism is a form of tshuva. To uplift the unique character of our nation, our Eretz Avosenu, and the land of our forefathers, below Torah in all of its descriptions, in all of its designs, its lines, which complete its character. Hamagalim, which reveal Mavlitim and emphasize Zosi Imosenu, this is our nation. Onu, this is authentically our nation. Berakah Ramakori in its high value, in its original values. V'yasab and Avsha in its body, in its nefesh, ruach, neshama, in the three parts of the soul. For this, where we have desire to, or we have the ambition to strive to renew the old days, as the days of yore, in Kamonios, in the years of ancient times. We've been asleep. A national slumber. Through a hard and long galus. Our national strengths, remained absorbed, swallowed up, inside us. And the outside, everything became creased and elderly. But the inside, the dew of life, is still going and flowing. It's like all the practical mitzvahs in the totality, in all their aspects. So went with us and goes. And they preserve for us there the moisture of our life, and the unique quality of our soul. Is based on our essence. They brought us to these days of the beginning of the epic of illumination to the life, of the desire to renew our nation, its land. Just like all the general mitzvahs, which we had throughout time ago, did this till now, so to the mitzvah will bring us the day Rome Musachim to the loftiness of life, that they have been arranged in order to perfect that in a comprehensive way. V'chol asher nosif lizbonen bo musan shemitzvah tzlus baretz. The more we learn about the mitzvahs of tzlus baretz, kulan all of them, and yireh kam rechokos and mitom, see how distant they are from us. Kam achenu tzrichim lios b'tnoim yoser b'rim, how much our life has to be led in a more healthy, b'chazokim, and strong way. Until these mitzvahs will be able to fulfill them. So the more we see the imperative mitzvahs of tzlus baretz for a fixed society, so to have the desire to fulfill with love, your car, and with appreciation. It's also those portions which we can fulfill. As a commemoration of the matter. Zecher Kodesh, a holy commemoration. Zikar l'chaim shleimim, a commemoration of a holistic life. Shavo lanu, which will come to us. Revote the shua shlemo, when there's the complete salvation. Lamenu, for our nation, Alad Mosenu, in our land, Shua Solomim, for eternal salvation. Basher Kimeno Sal and now that we fill them now, Mashirim, we enrich as Nishmas Mosenu, the soul of our nation, so Eish Kodesh, with that holy Kodesh, that holy fire, Shetil Shal Hebes HaKodesh, which will be a holy flame. When it springs into actually full flame, which will be full of life at the appropriate time. Today. We don't have the basic foundation, the tangible foundations upon which his mitzvahs are built. And according to serve and out of Levi to sing. Nevertheless, the vision is in front of us. Boy, he was not a brisker. And we're full of a spirit of song, or a more lofty one, with the wings of eagles. And it corresponds to the light of these the satisfactory days, which are waiting for our nation. I'm going to say, Baruch on our blessed land. Look, you can see now the Beis Hamikdash built up in its place, as for pride and honor for all the nations and all the kingdoms. Of course, he's talking about meditative trance or imagery. When we're doing the mitzvah, we can virtually take with joy the sheaves of our precious land. We come with a true spirit of freedom, a spirit of true freedom, and with confidence, Torah, holy confidence, Yekev to the threshing floor and to the wine press, which are full of grain and wine. And our heart rejoices on the goodness of the land of our desire. And we see in front of us Kohanim Anshe Kodesh to serve in the Beis Hamikdash. The heart's full of love and kindness. Holy Spirit on their faces. And remember, of laughliness of the feelings of holiness. Which we saw, again, this is virtual. People are imagining it, but we're seeing it as something which I'm so experienced based on his Panam, when we went up to Aliyah Lorena. And we see them standing up to pray, to serve. In our Beis Hamikdash. How wonderful and pleasant they are. And here we see our full silo. Birkas Hashem, with the blessing of Kosh Baruch Hu, Eretz Chemda, and the land of our desire, to be bestowed to us from our forefathers. And the portion of these people are Anshe Ruach, the people of spirit, they're with us. So as if are they with us now? These people who are people, the Kohanim, we're happy to give them their tshuva. Filled fine with themselves a lofty spirit. We go up together with the tshuva. To that spiritual height. Where these people are uplifted. And we too be uplifted. And our soul will be satiated from the harvest of the heavens. Okay, I think we'll stop here because, like I said, I have to finish early today, and we're nowhere near finished. But I like this. It's like a
very inspirational.
Very inspirational. Stream of consciousness, meditate like in a trance, and gives you an eye. an uplifting experience.
I could see why people were inspired by this
Yes.
writing.
Okay, very good. The progress
Yes.
of the 9 days. So
Gal.
okay, have a good week. Mitzvah Hashem, meaningful Tisha B'Av. I'll speak to you next week.
Okay, very good. Take care.
Bye.